More on this. Let's bring in a woman who had to suffer all of this before. She was a Loudoun County School Board member previously. Her name is Tiffany Polifko, and she joins us on the phone. Tiffany, good to have you with us.
Good afternoon, Vince. Thank you so much for having me on this afternoon. I appreciate your time.
Totally crazy what I'm listening to. What is going on at the Loudoun County School Board? What is happening? What are these parents so concerned about? And why are they being shut up by the school board members?
Well, listen, first of all, this all goes back to poor leadership. Number one, the problem we have is parents are concerned about the safety and security of their children, as they should be. And if we had effective leadership on this school board, we would have some answers in front of us, maybe not particularly about the disciplinary action or personally identifiable information behind what was done for this student in terms of behavior, which I certainly understand because as a previous school official, that is information that I was not able to divulge to the public. However, this student in particular has already been covered by the media. It's been in multiple outlets over the past several weeks. Loudoun Times-Mirror published an article on this occurrence. This was also reported by Nick Minock from WJLA. So the personally identifiable information that Chair Mansfield was trying to censor the public on last night is a flat-out poor excuse at best for trying to stop the public from making comments that, in my opinion, she and the rest of that board simply did not want to have to hear. And that is the biggest disgrace of all, Vince, is that you have parents coming out, pouring their hearts out about their concern for the most important thing in their world, which is their children. This school board doesn't even have the decency to focus on really what should be in front of them, which is, please explain to the public, even if you're not doing it up on the dais in that moment, put out a statement, answer Nick Minock from WJLA when he asks you about how you feel about this situation. How about you justify and rationalize your reasons for either being satisfied with decisions that were made or holding the administration accountable for the decisions that were made? But no, instead they sit up there like a bunch of feckless cowards behind a resolution that will do absolutely nothing to quantifiably protect our students. This is a classic case of mowing the lawn while the house is on fire. It is utter insanity, Vince.
Okay, that resolution that you're referring to, is this the school board's plan on telling parents how to store their guns?
Yes, sir. It certainly is, and I know you covered this story with board member Dina Griffiths. And yes, they voted on a resolution to notify parents about the importance of safe gun storage. First of all, that's already a Virginia state law. Secondly, this is completely out of the purview of the school board. In my opinion, if you are a member of the school board and you're interested in gun legislation and that's something that you want to hang your hat on, then you probably shouldn't be serving on the school board. You should be running to be a member of the House of Delegates or maybe state senate. That's where you need to go. And you know what, Vince? The bottom line is this resolution and among all these other proclamations that this board ridiculously pats themselves on the back for is nothing more than an opportunity to pad their political resumes and talk about all of the, I'm making air quotes with my fingers right now, as Chris Plant would say, the things we got done on the school board. This is not getting anything done. It is tone deaf at best. And it reminds me an awful lot last night of the board meeting back in June of 2021 when public comment was shut down once again because the public was coming out to speak of things that this board, or that board, not the current board, but it's really, one and the same at this point. They just didn't want to hear it. And I am convinced, Vince, that if Chair Mansfield had the opportunity to pen every single person's speech before they come up to the podium to talk at public comment, I'm convinced that she would do that. That's how badly she wants control. And the fact that none of those other board members had the courage or the spine to stand up for their constituents last night and disagree with her decision to end public comment is disgusting.
So,
They all could have said something, they didn't, and they should have voted on it, and they didn't.
I have a bunch of questions about this. One of them is, do any of these people who are trying to shut down parents, do they have children in Loudoun County schools?
Some of them do, Vince, and some of them don't.
Some of them don't. Okay. And
Some of them don't.
And then families keep showing up with proper complaints, like, hey, I'd like the MS-13 gang member not to be near my kid. I'd like some answers on what the hell's going on. And when they do that, they're like yelling at these Loudoun County school board members, which they deserve. Why do they do these jobs? Like, why is it? What excites them about being yelled at by the public for being incompetent?
Oh, Vince, believe me, they don't want to be yelled at by the public. And here's the thing. This is why they shut down the comments, Vince, because they can't take the heat. And if you cannot sit up there as somebody who is in a leadership role and listen to the voice of everyone, whether it's someone who has something nice to say or not, whether it's someone who has something pleasant to report on or something inconvenient or unpleasant, it is your job as an elected official to listen to all of those individuals and to respond properly to them.
But what drives them, though? Why would Melinda Mansfield want to be a school board member? That's what I want to. That's basically the core question. Why is she even interested in this job? What is her goal?
Well, my prediction with anybody who puts themselves in a position like this is that, especially in Loudoun County, is that they crave power, especially if you're on the left. Because as we all know, it is a Dem-heavy district, Democrat-heavy district. They get in there, it's hive-minded, they all work together, and the odd man out gets excluded, right? The odd man out is sort of the pariah of the group, and it's a great stepping stone for the next political adventure. This is where the board members have an opportunity to fail up. When they fail at their job as a board member, they then decide to run for higher office. And we've seen it happen before, happens repeatedly. I just can't, if you don't want to serve people and you have such disdain for the public, Vince, as the majority of these board members do, that is a fantastic question, and one that I'd like to learn more about psychologically and behaviorally.
Yes.
Why are you sitting up there when it is so painfully obvious that you do not care about the public, and you are putting the end users of this school system, which is children and family, at the back of the line? It is a total disgrace.
So when we talked to Dina Griffiths, current Loudoun County School Board member, again, one of the good ones, about all this, she got into some back and forth with some of these school board members recently over the fact that they took all sorts of donations from gun-grabbing groups, that they were taking massive amounts of money from these anti-gun organizations in order to become school board members. And so I guess I have a couple questions on this, but one of the basic ones is, why would any group that has anything to do with guns at all, either side of the issue, be donating to school board members? I don't understand that. And if they're so concerned with gun violence, why aren't they giving information to the parents about the kid who just threatened to kill one of his classmates with a gun?
Well, because, Vince, it doesn't look good. It's all about optics. It's all about optics and political power with these people. Number one, Moms Demand Action. Yes, Moms Demand Action gave all kinds of money to these school board members who are championing this feckless resolution, by the way, and I'll tell you, I'll make a note here, and I'll take an aside for a second and say, do I support safe gun storage? Absolutely. Are my guns stored safely, Vince? Yes, they are, because I know it's law. I know that that's what I have to do as a responsible gun owner. But to go back to your initial question about why are these political committees donating to these board members, why are they involved? Because it's all part of the big ball of wax of the Democrat hive, power and control. That's where it all boils down to. It's the money breeds power. The more money you have, the more likely you are to be able to run a successful campaign. We all know that people can't run campaigns without money. And as much as these board members would like to sit up there and stare you in the face and tell you that they're nonpartisan, school board is apolitical, absolutely it is not. And we know that it's not. And that Mom's Demand was there in force last night. They were there in force. In fact, there was one woman, Vince, who approached me as I walked out the doors after this public comment after people were censored and public comment was ended. And she got up in my face and she said, "You were rude." And I said, "Ma'am, I don't think you understand that I am not the one who ended public comment. It is your board members who are chipping away at your rights. They censored all of us. They disenfranchised you as well. I simply called them out for it, and I demanded that all of them take a vote on it and raise their hands. I wanted every single person up there to have to raise their hand and look at all of the constituents in the audience and tell them that they supported taking away their right to stand up and deliver their speeches at public comment last night." And it was just an absolute abomination, Vince.
You know, people should be rude to people who abuse this much power. You really should, because it's just gotten completely out of control. What's going to happen next, Tiffany Polifko, with the Loudoun County School Board? Are they going to allow public comment ever again?
Oh, well, they certainly will. They'll pretend like this didn't happen. They'll circle around to the next board meeting, in 2 weeks, and they'll feign ignorance, and this will, this never occurred, just like the last go around. And but their big hope, of course, is that we all go away. And what I keep saying is, you can't go away, because that's what they want. They don't. That's why they stopped filming public speakers. That's why they dehumanized all of us and took the cameras. Not only are the cameras not on our backs anymore, they're not even on us at all. So if people are viewing from home, they see a white screen with an LCPS logo on it. It's incrementalism. That's exactly what it is. First we'll take the cameras away, then we'll take the time away, because now you get 60 seconds, if that. Even the last board would give public comment. You'd get maybe 2 minutes if there were, if there was below a certain number of speakers. Last night, I think there were only 20 speakers. So, heaven forbid they have to sit there for 20 whole minutes and listen to the public come and speak. I mean, but it is incrementalism. They are going to do everything they can to try and push off the public. And that tells us, if anyone's paying attention, that they don't like the public. Why are they doing this? Because they don't like us. And why don't they give us more time? And why don't they put the cameras on our faces? Because they don't want to.
They want to crush your criticism. Yeah, big time. Tiffany Polifko, thank you for continuing to stay on top of all of this and being a thorn in the side of the people who are not taking care of Loudoun County at all. Really appreciate your time today.